subject before I just leave it alone. And here's what I want to know. We've all seen the Prefontaine Classic now, and this video is going to focus solely on Sha'carri, not on the performance by Elaine Thompson. But we've all watched the Prefontaine Classic by now. We've all seen this performance by Sha'carri. And what I want to know is, what do you guys think happened to Sha'carri? My thoughts after watching the race and after doing a little research, and I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I think that the girl was injured, or something's off. And this is just from me. I did go to the track meet, so I watched it live. I watched it back. I watched NBC's coverage. So my theory is that she was hurt, and this is just based off of how she ran, what her stride looks like, and then the time that she ran. Those are my thoughts, but also I want to know what you guys think happened. Like, what do you think she was injured? Is there any chance that you think that she was injured as well? Is it just too much pressure got to her? Was she just not focused at all? Let me know down in the comments. But here's why I think that Sha'carri was injured, or I personally think that there was something off with her stride, and this is going to be, once again, just my opinion. So if you really look at the times, at her performances and all that, Sha'carri has been breaking 11 seconds since 2019, like on a pretty consistent basis. When she actually goes out to run, she breaks 11 seconds since back at LSU. In this race, she did end up having that 11, which is just kind of uncharacteristic of her, since we know even on this season, she's already had two 10-7 times win legal. She had the Olympic trials of a 10-7 or a 10-8, but they ended up redacting that. So just this year, she's had a lot of 10-7s. Now, I do know that she wasn't competing like the other girls. You know, she didn't go to the Olympics. She basically had like a month or a month and a half to just train or to not train, so that could come into it. But when I watch the race, when I look at her, I feel like her stride is off. Like, I almost feel like she's laboring down the track. Now, I know that there's going to be someone in this who doesn't watch track, who never ran track or ran. There's going to be a guy in here telling me that I'm making excuses for her when he ran a 12-second 100-meter dash himself. But to me, when I look at the times, when I look at the footage, I just feel like her mechanics are off. Like, Sha'carri has a lot of high knees, front side mechanics. Like, her legs don't swing. At least when she was running well, when she was running the 10-7s, her legs don't swing back behind her. Her knees go up in front of her. Everything's like up and in front of her. Knees up right in front of her. But when I'm watching this one, I feel like her legs are a little behind her. And I think that could just be like from having a sore leg, a hamstring injury, a calf injury, where your stride's just off slightly. And it's not enough where you can't go out there and run. It's like you can still go out there and run, but you're not going to be as fast as you would be if your form was just regular. So that's some of the things that I've seen. I've seen this happen to a lot of athletes. I've had this happen to myself, where it's like you just get an injury right before you have to compete. You get an injury 2 weeks before the state championship, 2 weeks before the national championships. You're getting your massages, you're doing all your treatment, but it's like the race is coming and you're just not all the way prepared. You do have to almost deny it, decline it, act like everything's all right. But the facts sometimes is that it's not all right. And once you get out there, you just get smoked. This has happened. I've seen this happen to athletes close to me, and this has literally happened to me, where it's like I'm supposed to dominate a race, and I get smoked, and then I go back to my damn coach, and he's like, "Are you injured?" And I'm like, kinda, you know. I've just seen this happen a lot of times. So that's where my perspective comes in, where I think that she was injured, and it was like it's too far. She went too far to be able to say I'm injured, or there's so much hype. It's gone so far where she can't be like, no, I'm not gonna run. You know, she went too far basically to pull out, or she was gonna try to tough it out, or this or that. Like the train has just left, and it's too far to pull out. Which in hindsight, if she was injured, like I said, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I could be oblivious. I could be making up excuses. But in hindsight, I would say if she was injured, it was low key silly to go out there. I know people would have been saying that she's ducking the Jamaicans, that she's scared if for any reason she pulled out. Like, if she pulled out and said that she was injured, people would be like, oh, she's making that up. She's not, she ain't injured. She's scared. Now, if she just pulled out of the race, people just say that she's ducking the Jamaicans. So there was basically a lot of pressure to run, and I see why she ran. But if she was having any injuries or anything, then I could also, in hindsight, I would say I could see why it would have been good for her not to run. Once again, this is just what I'm seeing from her mechanics, from she's wearing a damn calf brace in the race. She has tape on, it's not tape on her leg, but she is wearing a compression sleeve on one of her calves in the race. Like, that's kind of a sign to me that there's something up there, or there's something up, with her body. When I look at it, when I think about it, if you're literally 100%, you don't usually have like any calf things on, any like braces or any of that. Some people do, but it's just not usual to see someone wear like a compression sleeve or something if they're like, no, I feel amazing. But I want to know what you think. Like, what do you guys think? Was it the pressure? Did the pressure get to the girl where she just wasn't able to perform? Like, she looked well before the race. I was there. She looked well. She worked the crowd. She did everything. She got into the blocks. It was just like after 20 or 30 meters, she just started falling back and back and back. And some of these girls, she would have beat. And, she wouldn't have beat Elaine Thompson regardless. Like, she wasn't going to win regardless. And I think she probably knew that she wasn't going to win regardless. Like, if you just look at it objectively, even her being in the race, if she just was to look at it objectively and say, okay, Elaine Thompson ran a 10.6 prior to this, like, I'm probably not going to win, but I'm going to go out here and run. She would still, you would think that she would have beat some of the ladies, some of these girls involved, but she got last. She got dead last. And once again, my theory, what I think is that she has an injury. Just look at her form. Now, if you don't watch track and field, you're not going to be able to like really see the subtle nuances of somebody's stride being off, like someone having a kind of ginger stride. If you don't run track, if you haven't ran in a lot of track meets yourself, and if you don't watch track on a consistent basis or just watch people form and how they run, you're not going to be able to tell this. So this is for some expert or some basically track and field nerd like myself, someone who's just watched races, who's more gonna be able to decide. And like I keep saying, I could be wrong, but my thoughts from watching her form is that the girl was hurt or has like a slight injury. And yeah, I think that's why she got out there and she got last. She got smoked. It is out there. It's on a record. But I know that this isn't the end for this girl, Sha'carri Richardson. I know that she has a lot of promise. She has so much more that she can do. She has so much more running to do. We're going to see her next year at the World Championships. Most likely she could be She'll most likely be on the podium. Now she could choke, she could flop, she could have another whatever, she could have another disaster. But from the looks at from the looks of things, I would have to assume that next year at the World Championships, she will be on the podium. So there's a lot left for the young lady Sha'carri Richardson. But once again, I want to know what you guys think. Why do you think that she got spanked, got smoked, and just took the L, caught the fade this time? Let me know down in the comments. Watch the races again. I'm going to be putting the footage in this race. Just look at her form. Like, you're not going to, if you don't watch races, you don't know. But look at where look at her strides. Look at where her leg positioning is. Like, are her knees really up? Are her legs behind her? And you'll only know if you've studied sprinting in track. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, it's your boy Limitless Mike, and I am out. Peace. Have a great day. Have a blessed day.
We are